There were few that could ever plead like Spurgeon for your soul. One of the greatest books that Spurgeon ever wrote was a tiny little gospel claim called All of Grace. And in the opening remarks, he says, "Reader, meet me in heaven." And in the final line of the book, he says, "Reader, remember to meet me in heaven." That was the drive of his heart. In 1892, he dies in France. And on January 31st, he's buried at West Norwood Cemetery, London, on February 12th. And his tomb has these words: "Look unto me, and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am God, and there is none else." I've got a few closing thoughts here that we'll just read, just a couple of sentences from Spurgeon. He said this, some months before he died, he said this in a sermon. It was a unique moment where he was preaching and he was on a roll and he was building up a head of steam, and then he kind of just quietened and he said this. He said, "When you see my coffin carried to the silent grave, I should like every one of you, whether converted or not, to be constrained to say, he did earnestly urge us in plain and simple language not to put off the consideration of eternal things. He did entreat us to look to Christ." That's my overview of the life of Charles Spurgeon, a servant of God which is still yielding and bearing fruit even today. And I want to commend the study of his life to you. Maybe, like I said, you won't do a doctoral dissertation on Spurgeon. Maybe you will. A wonderful subject matter to study. But I would plead with you, read more Spurgeon. Study his life. Read his sermons. They take about 20, 25 minutes to read. Find that time once in a week and just read a sermon from Spurgeon. You'll find yourself deeply blessed and encouraged.